Hey everyone, Genome here, coming to our next Marvel Strike Force for Beginners series video. This one's actually probably aimed a little more towards the mid-game player or the freshly minted mid-game player, but you know, some people pay money and they get up there faster. But one of the teams that people should probably be going for as soon as they can is Symbiotes. I say as soon as you can because there's some legendary hunts you need to go on first and prioritize, and a lot of these guys you can't direct farm right now. Scream, Anti-Venom, and Symbiote Spider-Man right now are not direct farm, so it's not the easiest thing in the world. And Carnage is kind of a harder farm with war currency being used. Lots of stuff in that store, and plus the newer player may not be warring that much yet, but hopefully that you are, and you're getting some currency. So probably around the mid-game you're going to start unlocking these guys. And you can be really tempted to level them, and they are a great raid team, or just a great team in general, right? I don't have them fully fleshed out. As you see, I don't have any of them yet. And this got me thinking, too, it's like, since my team is incomplete, who do you want to actually fill in the gaps? And I'm going to throw you some ideas for those you have partially unlocked Symbiote's team. Now, I'll also say this. If you don't have Symbiote Cyberman, don't bother with him, because really he's the glue that holds this whole team together with his passive, giving drain to everybody. Carnage, too, about equally important, but those two, especially if you don't have Symbiote Cyberman, I really wouldn't worry about them too much. You'll do better in raids with other teams. But once you get them, man, does it open up a world of possibilities for you. So let me go ahead and get into a couple of characters. We'll say you're going to include this as the 5th symbiote. We're going to assume you have 4, but if you don't have 4, you maybe even be able to put 2 in there. So I'm going to give you my 5 mains, but first, before I do that, I'm going to give you 3 option ones that, you know, maybe a lot of newer players don't have them, or they don't have them at high levels, but I think these are 3 characters that have worked really well for you. So stay tuned for the 5 mains right after this. Alright, so for my 3 runners-up, basically, or alternative ones, and these actually probably fit maybe even a little better than most of my mains, but once again, these are not the easiest characters to get a hold of. None of them are really directly farmable right now at this moment, so, you know, maybe only the higher level guys have them, but I mean, a lot of people might have unlocked 2 of these players or characters here recently, so let's just go and get into it. First off, I'm going to talk about Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo is really good on this team because there's no protector, and that means her passive comes into play, which can be huge. Basically, she's not going to be getting very many turns, but until the symbiotes get rolling, they're a little bit vulnerable, and this can really help them survive until they get rolling, right? So I think a lot of people would overlook this kind of synergy here, but yeah, there's no protector on this team right now, especially there just really isn't. So why not? It's a great thing that you have her unlocked, and she's a pretty good character level anyway, so it is one option. The next 2 are basically another version of symbiotes, and you got the self-proclaimed dad bros, right? Shatterstar and Longshot. If you only have 3 of the symbiotes unlocked, say Symbiote Spider-Man, Carnage, and Venom, you already got the makings of a decent raid team with a couple of filler slots. Well, you know what? You can fill those 2 slots with somebody who basically is almost as self-sufficient as the symbiotes are, right? Because with the passive of Shatterstar, he's throwing out barrier to Longshot. Longshot's helping everybody crit. There's going to be a lot of self-healing between these 2, so while they work independently of the symbiotes, they have a very similar game plan, and they won't be getting nearly the amounts of turns that the symbiotes will be getting, so, yeah, but that's basically going to be true of any other teammates you throw on there that aren't symbiotes, right? But I don't know, I think they would line up very well with the symbiotes team, and really they don't have a home right now, so there's a lot worse places to put them. So those are my alternative options for people who may have either unlocked these characters or maybe been playing a little longer and have these guys leveled up a bit. So now let me get into my 5 main choices for alternative 5th members of the symbiotes. Okay, so for my number 5 pick, I'm going to go with Merc Lieutenant. Merc Lieutenant is a great plug-and-play character in the early and early mid-game, and he kind of fits into the theme of what the symbiotes are trying to do. The only real vulnerability the symbiotes have is at the very beginning, before everyone's health bar on the other side starts going down and they start getting speed ups from Carnage and all that. It takes a little while to get them ramped up, right? And what Merc Lieutenant brings to the table can help them ramp up. Basically, call the shots. Speed up, offense up. That's 2 things that the symbiotes really need at first until they get rolling on their own. It's a great thing. He can throw, I mean, you're not going to be using his basic ever. Once, I'd say about the only thing you're putting in there for is maybe 1 use of his special, and then hopefully the symbiotes are off to the races at that point. But I mean, there's a little bit of stuff with the You know, might get an occasional heal out of him, and maybe a little ability energy if he ever gets another turn. So it's something to think about. But calling the shots is the big one, and you're probably going to want this at least level 6, but you know, that should do it. But yeah, get them rolling as fast as you can, and you know, good things will happen. So that's my number 5 pick. Okay, for my number 4 pick is going to be Kingpin. Some people might rate him a little higher in there, but I don't know. Sometimes it's iffy. When it goes off, it's nice having, you know, his passive kick in for extra assists and all that. That's great. It's not perfect. It needs to be higher, to be honest with you. Kingpin really needs a boost, but he does bring some good stuff to the table, and he also addresses one of the weaknesses that symbiotes have with his ultimate. If he can get to his first turn and throw his ultimate out, he throws a lot of defense up on him. If Venom doesn't get to do this, because a lot of times the AI seems to target Venom quite a bit, actually. And offense up. So it's, once again, doing everything that symbiotes need to do. The speed up might be a little more valuable, but the fact that he actually has some passive assisting going on here between the guys might be a little bit better. Depends. It's probably interchangeable with Merc Lieutenant, but Kingpin's another great choice because he doesn't have a home right now. So why not? If you have a fist slot open for the symbiotes, you can do worse than put Kingpin in there. Okay, so for my 3rd pick, it's none other than Drax. You can also supplement Red Guardian for this if you've unlocked him. I'm sure a lot of people haven't, especially new players, but so if not, Drax is always available, and he's a pretty good option for the symbiotes. Because all you need him to do is auto-taunt, which he does anyway, throw him on the edge somewhere, and let the symbiotes get a turn in so they can start rolling. That's what he is. After that, he'll never get another turn. If he does, his very first turn, he's going to be taunting again, so you got 2 turns of taunt. He'll probably be dead by then, depending on how much you've worked on him, but, you know, the point has been made. The symbiotes are rolling, and once they're rolling, they're almost an unstoppable juggernaut. So I think it's a great choice, Drax, for the, you know, the 5th slot that could be in the symbiotes. Once again, these are all characters that I think newer players have pretty easy access to, and none of these are really hard farms, you know, and none of these are luck-based farms. So my number 3 pick is Drax. All right, for my number 2 pick, I'm going with Shuri. Shuri is, if you're following some of the guides, like the ones I put out earlier in the series, excuse me, that was my phone, not yours. Following any of my guides, you should be unlocking Shuri as one of your very first legendary, if not your first. Shuri and Legendary Woman, whichever one comes around first. Get those Sinister 6 gathered, people. But anyway, Shuri lines up so well with what the symbiotes are trying to do. Once again, she's a great plug-and-play character on just about any team, but really what she's going to do is add quite a bit of survivability to the symbiotes until they get self-sustaining, mostly with her instant upgrade, her special. Throwing defense up on everybody, 2 turns, there you go, you're off to the races. That's all she really has to do. She might get a chance to throw some healing out there. She also has kind of a hidden thing here, especially in raids, because remember, a lot of times you're up against Lokis and things like that in raids, and this can come in handy. In raids, when self or any ally drops below 50% max health, gain 3 deflects on that character, so you make them a lot more survivable at that point, and that can go for any of them. So gives them a chance to heal back up and all that. She's just a really solid, especially in raid, character and all that, because she has low cooldowns. She's pretty quick, so she'll actually probably get this out before any of your other symbiote characters too, which is really nice. So yeah, she won't get a whole lot of turns once the symbiotes are rolling, but she doesn't need to. All she has to do is get off her special, and usually you're pretty good to go. That's kind of a growing theme with most of these characters. So my number 2 pick is Shuri. All right, and for my number 1 pick, I'm going to go someone that's probably going to get draw a little bit of ire anyway from some of the community and some of the other people playing this game, and that is none other than Green Goblin. I think Green Goblin's passive lines up better with the symbiotes than any other character. The only thing it lacks, or he lacks on this team, is to bring them any more survivability, so they are still a little bit susceptible to getting nuked down at the beginning. If you start gearing up enough, that's not too bad an issue usually. I think Green Goblin's a great choice, with a slight caveat. The caveat being you might need to gear him a little bit for his to really work. What makes Green Goblin any decent character at all is none of his abilities here. They mean nothing, right? Especially in running with the team of symbiotes, right? Because his attacks he's going to be attacking once, maybe. It's his passive. His passive is so unheralded, and it works so amazingly on the symbiotes. It reads, on any Spider versus ally's turn, choose 2 random enemies. If they have a positive effect, remove 1. That's at level 6, right? Or, excuse me, level 4. You know, who cares about the on-spawn stuff? Whatever. doesn't matter. That's it. That first sentence is absolutely incredible. The only reason I say you need to gear him a little bit is for one, so maybe he'll survive a hit if he gets targeted first, or so make sure he beats focus checks, because sometimes he's a little weak at that. But the symbiotes get so many turns. They are so fast. They'll be just going turn after turn after turn once they get rolling. He's going to be stripping buffs like you would not believe. It's a great option for the early symbiotes team, and really it works really well on any Spider-Verse team. That's why I think he's the most versatile Sinister Six character outside of Doc Ock, of course, and that he can fit anywhere with a Spider-Verse tag. And I think maybe he fits best of all on symbiotes, just because they are so fast. They're going to give you so many turns, and he's going to be peeling buffs like crazy. So yeah, once they get rolling really well, they don't really need this anymore, because they're going to be doing enough debuffing that it's probably not going to be needed, but whatever. I think he's a great option out there for people who are on a budget. Plus, he also lines up with what I was saying earlier. You need to be collecting Sinister Six for Shuri anyway, so why not use this guy? He's a much maligned character in Marvel Strike Force, but I think he's a good one. So anyway, yeah, there's my 5 choices. So in some particular order, I'm going with Merc Lieutenant is my number 5 pick. Kingpin is my number 4 pick. Drax is my number 3 pick. Got to get that taunt up so they can get rolling. Shuri's my number 2 pick. Amazing synergy with these guys. And Green Goblin, all on the power of his passive. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Did this list give you any ideas? Have you used these guys before to supplement a team member on the symbiotes? Have you theory crafted this stuff before? Let me know in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you. So hopefully this was helpful to some people, especially those just unlocking symbiotes. And until next time, this is Genome, just loving him some symbiote fun. Out.